Yeah, so that's what kind of how the name it just came together. And then another thing that I had, whenever I started Big O, I did not have a business brain in me at all.
No one ever does.
And realizing really fast that like my main competitors online were tire companies and like 1,000 different rappers that have all released like 2 songs and that's it.
Oh
and
my God.
like
This video is brought to you by Select a Ticket. We'll hear more about them later. For now, let's get on to today's video. Welcome to Room 6. The channel is dedicated to local music and not so local music and the people that make it, including me and my guest. My guest today is a punk rock inspired hip hop artist who is currently on a totally rad 90s tour, which at time of recording will be stopping at Evil Pie tomorrow, and I'll be there.
Awesome.
Yes. And I am looking forward to it. He's also on that tour with Baljeet and Ego James. Look forward to meeting them. His music is known for being positive, progressive, real, and creative. He's toured all over the world, including shows in Indonesia and Singapore.
Uh-huh.
His debut album broke top 10 of iTunes, and I reviewed that in an earlier video, so you can check that out. His music video, which is a Lego music video for his song Hyundai to Ferrari, is out now. Please welcome to the channel, Otis Julius.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Let's do this.
Welcome to Room 6. Clink.
Don't worry, it's hot tea.
It is Cranap. It's 9 in the morning. 9:10 in the morning. We're not drinking alcohol. No. Even I've got my limits. So, first of all, thank you very much for squeezing time in. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I know you got lots of things going on. So, this will not be a drawn-out one. The current record is an hour and a half finished product.
Wow, yeah.
With Crimson Riot, and that was...
that's a lot of footage.
That was a lot of Jameson. 4 people emptied a bottle of Jameson in shots.
Wow.
You want to talk about like looking back at it later, like, okay, mental note.
That's funny.
So, that being said, a couple questions. Number 1, Caldwell to LA, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Describe why.
The reason why is to get married.
Oh.
Yeah. I met my...
wedding band, huh?
Yeah. I met my future wife in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And she was modeling in Idaho. And as you can assume, the ceiling for modeling is very low in Idaho. So she hit that real fast. And she was like, I'm moving to LA. I was like, do it. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
And then we did long distance for about 1.5 years. Then I moved out to LA, and then we got married. So it worked out, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of similar to what I did. I met my wife in Northern California, dancing in a bar, actually.
Okay.
And it wasn't too long before she was on a gap year between junior and senior year of college, and she's like, I'm going back to Indiana where I'm studying. She grew up in California, but for some reason was going to University of Indiana.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll go with you. Why not? So I kind of did the same thing, but we ended up back in California.
Okay.
And now we're
Indianapolis or where?
Bloomington.
Bloomington. Okay.
Yes. IU. Okay. I know I said University of Indiana. I meant Indiana University. Okay. And there's a difference.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Goddamn Purdue. Anyway. You still trying to get sponsored by Southwest?
By Southwest. That's funny. That was a giant joke. I mean, I would love a flight endorsement. I think if I could have the endorsement of my dreams, it would be Mountain Dew. But, I run my entire business on my Southwest credit card, and so majority of the time I fly free, so it's kind of...
I saw the video of, like, packing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought, how true is that? But those airline, I mean, if you want to be traveling a lot, those cards are... Yeah. They come in handy.
Absolutely.
Just pay your bills. So, yes. Were you affected at all by that whole Southwest debacle with the delayed flights?
No. Wild enough. Let's see here. Because we did fly home. I only fly Southwest whenever I'm flying out for shows, strictly because I can get the 2 bags for free. And, so whenever we fly back to Idaho, they have Allegiant and Allegiant and Avelo flights that are round trip for like $85.
I'm familiar with Allegiant, not a fan, But a Velo I've never heard of.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of either, but whenever you can fly round trip for $85, there's nothing else.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the generic interview question here. Let's talk earliest musical influence. Now, for you, I already kind of said punk rock inspired hip-hop, and you grew up in being a punk artist. Where was that? And I've seen some interviews with you and read some stuff, and it seemed like it was 50 Cent was the actual first hip-hop artist? Or?
Yeah. 50 Cent was the first hip-hop album I ever owned, and probably the first hip-hop that I ever, actually thoroughly listened to. Right.
But what was the transition between I'm writing punk rock songs and I'm writing a hip-hop song?
I was first in a punk band that was kind of, it definitely was not a joke. We took it very seriously, but it was also just four really good friends just hanging out making music, and we just didn't know what we were doing. And I think that the punk community and punk music really just spoke to me at the time, and so I was all in on that, but I'd always had this passion for hip-hop. And while 50 Cent was probably the first, Get Rich or Die Trying was the first album that I owned or whatever, I can trace, I think my earliest influences, earliest memories was this Christian ska band called the OC Supertones, and I had them on cassette back in probably 4th or 5th grade.
You see, kids, there used to be these things. No, it's old joke.
But so I mean, ska, which is very interesting because ska has some very strong punk elements, some very strong hip hop elements, and just the fact that majority of ska songs are fast paced and the lyrics are mostly up tempo, And so I think I blame a lot of this on that. So right. Yeah.
Now that leads me to the actual proper question, which is that earliest musical influence. What is that earliest musical influence that you remember of being I want to do that?
That's a
complicated question?
No, I think it's a very easy question.
Okay.
Whenever I was early high school, it must have been maybe my freshman, sophomore year, I don't remember. But me and my friends told each other's parents that we were going camping with each other, and we went to Vans Warped Tour.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah.
That was the first?
Yeah. And so we went to Warped Tour, and we accidentally saw this band called Emery. I'd never heard of them before, and they're to this day, they're my favorite band of all time.
Emery board? It's Emery, E-M-E-R-Y?
Yeah.
Huh.
And
check them out.
I've seen them at this point. I've probably seen them 18 times. All-time favorite band. Had no clue who they were. I went to Warped Tour specifically to see Zebrahead, which is another punk rap band. And after seeing Zebrahead, we went over and we accidentally saw this band called Emery. And I just remember watching the show, where has this been this whole my whole life? And it just sucked me in, and
right.
I couldn't get away from it. And I was just I want to do that. And so we started this band, and originally we just wanted to pretty much be a rip-off mix of Emery and this band Showbread, and then we eventually kind of found our own sound or whatever, but that's kind of how it all started. And so that's the original, I want to do this. This band changed my life. I'll never forget that moment. This is so cool. Where has this been? And now we're here today.
So we have Emery to thank for the pizza chair.
Yeah.
Speaking of pizza, you still rocking with Kool-Aid and frozen pizza with Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on top?
That's such an old photo, but absolutely. It's for the cheap pizzas, though. The pizzas that don't taste good. You gotta have the barbecue.
I miss the 99-cent Totinos.
Yes, 100%.
After a night of drinking, man, you're I want that fake, weird taste.
Yeah. But no, Kool-Aid and frozen pizza for sure.
Which I've never had. I never thought about doing that, because usually Kool-Aid was the last thing I wanted to drink after a night of drinking. So real quick, we're going to take a quick little break here because we need to hear a message from Future Josh.
All right.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Thanks, Past Josh. It's baseball season, and you know what that means. Time to hit the old diamond and grab some grub. But going to a game gets expensive quick, right? Well, good news. Select-A-Ticket is here to save you some dough. Select-A-Ticket has the best seats and best prices available for any event, including concerts, Broadway shows, and of course, sporting events. Experience the difference with SelectedTicket.com's all-in pricing with no added fees at checkout and no delivery fees. That means the price you see is the price you pay. Just for watching this video and for being part of Room 6 and for a limited time, you can use my affiliate link down in the description to get 10% off every purchase over $100 on merchandise and tickets to your next MLB game. Just enter coupon code MLB10 at checkout. Thanks to Selected Ticket for being a sponsor, and let's get back to the show. We're back. So, I wanted to talk favorite show memory. Now, it can be as Big O, or it can be as Otis Julius, but what is your favorite show memory performing? And it can be things went really off the rails, or that was amazing, I checked off a lot of my little rock star checklist.
Yeah.
Or someone went to jail.
I don't know that I can tell you a favorite, but I can run over a quick highlight reel. Is that cool? All right, cool. There's nothing like a sold-out show. I've had the ability to play 5 sold-out shows in my career so far, and there's just something really special, and you kind of just get in bed after that like, wow, this was amazing. And, the first sellout show is something that will always be on my mind. It's just like, this is so cool.
Where was that?
The first sellout show was in Provo, Utah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was on tour opening for Froggy Fresh, and we had, I think the end of the night numbers were we had 520 people in a 480 cap venue, I think. So they just barely oversold, and it was everybody who was just ready for music. And
when was this?
This would have been maybe 2018, maybe.
So right in the middle of quarantine, or right when quarantine was...
No, before, because quarantine was 2020, yeah? Either 2019 or 2020.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of someone's presidency starting in
Okay.
2016.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah. But
because when I tell you here, when quarantine was lifted enough to where shows could happen,
yeah,
it didn't matter what was being performed, packed,
wild, yeah,
and it didn't. You could be up there just juggling, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that's awesome."
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so first sellout show is a huge memory. Definitely my first shows in Canada were super cool. It's just like this mental thing, like I can't believe I'm playing in a different country, and then on top of all of that, like the shows went really well. That was amazing. I can't wait to get back to another Canadian tour. I have not started planning that yet, but I probably should. Let's see here. Playing in New York City is always like really special, really fun. I always try to build in a day off either before or after the show just to spend time in New York. That's nice. Let's see here. Amazing shows. I feel like that pretty much show covers it. I recently was on this tour opening for Doobie and Caskey, and we played Des Moines. And Des Moines, Iowa just like was something super special for me. And like, I don't know why, but it was just like next level. And like every now and then you get that show and it's just like, I don't know what happened, but this like you could do no wrong, So it was really cool.
Those are nice. Where from the moment, like first note, they're like, yeah, and you're just like, this is okay.
Yeah,
right on.
This is the one.
Let's pull out the experimental crap.
Right. Yeah.
Right on. So from favorite show memory, you're based out of LA.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite live music venue to see? Just go to see live music in or perform in, and because you've played all over the place, I'm going to open it up to the world. What is that one place you're like, yes, I love this place. This is my favorite place. Because in Vegas we've got quite a few to choose from. But do you have a favorite in Vegas?
Playing Evil Pie will be my first legitimate venue in Vegas. I've played probably 4 DIY shows that were held in warehouses and backyards,
right.
And very much so from the punk scene, which I'm from,
Right.
And so I don't know that I have a favorite place to play in Vegas yet. I will say I'm a huge Cirque du Soleil fan, and so me and my wife's...
Wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Yeah. me and my wife's bucket list that we're working down right now, seeing all the Cirque shows on the Strip. And so when it comes to just live entertainment venues or whatever, I think that the Ka Theater is really cool.
Ka!
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you been to that?
No.
You should.
Wait, have we? Yeah, I think I did see Ka. Seen Mystere.
Mm-hmm.
When my wife and I were married for a year, our
Mm-hmm.
our first anniversary, I mean, our honeymoon was going to IKEA, and then I had to go to work the next day.
Yeah, nice.
So,
Nice.
That's always the joke when we go to IKEA now.
Uh-huh.
But for our second anniversary, we took a real honeymoon,
Mm-hmm.
ended up in Vegas, visiting her sister, who 6 months after we moved here, moved back to Oakland. So,
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah.
But we saw, as part of the deal, I surprised her, and we saw a traveling Cirque du Soleil show
Okay.
called Alegria. And they had this red tent, like a VIP tent. You pay a little extra, and it's called the Tapas Rouge. And this is in the Bay Area, mind you.
Okay.
And they had this cool tent with these little, like, it was like ducting, and it was heated in the tent.
Mm-hmm.
And before the show and during intermission, some of the performers were in there talking to you, and you're getting like,
Yeah.
you know, all the fancy appetizers stuff. And this is worth this is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And that to me, for Cirque du Soleil, that's my favorite memory of Cirque du Soleil. Unfortunately, Mystere traumatized my wife a little bit because.
Really?
Have you seen Mystere?
Yeah. Loved it.
The baby, the stroller
Yes.
with the baby. First time away from our baby, and my wife's in there just going, "What was that? What was that? Oh my god!" Lactating, just like, "Oh god." So it kind of skewed things for her a little bit. She has a problem now with it, but
that's funny.
Anywho, moving on.
Yeah.
Back to music. Sorry.
No, I think my current favorite venue to play in is the Waiting Room in Omaha, Nebraska. I have a really solid following in Omaha, which has created open doors for playing bigger shows and more professional venues.
Mm-hmm.
And the Waiting Room is a really nice venue. It's clean. It's well put together. The staff is amazing, and the shows are... I've never played a bad show at the Waiting Room.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I remember seeing that name for other acts.
Yeah.
And so if I ever end up there, I'll have to swing by.
Yeah. It's a bigger venue for sure.
Have you been to Evil Pie?
I haven't. I think it's on our to-do list today, actually.
Yes. So here's the deal.
Okay, let's
It's
hear
going
it.
to look different than it will tomorrow night.
Why?
Because you will be performing. You ever perform where it's like kind of like four walls but no ceiling? It's a back patio. So you're going to walk. It's kind of like it's like the Bay Area. It's like a giant hallway.
Uh-huh.
You walk in, Evil Knievel everywhere.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Hence the name. It's really
Because
cool.
he jumped the Snake River Canyon in Idaho. So, yeah. Well, yes, go on.
Okay. And then they serve pizza by the slice.
Yep.
And there's no substitutions. Like they're literally grabbing the piece off of this display thing, throwing it in the oven, and finishing the cook. You can also order order a whole pie, but and then that when you go through like the dining area, there's a hallway, it's bathrooms, entrance to the kitchen, and there'll be a door covered in stickers.
Okay.
You go through there, and you're in a back patio area. Has its own bar there. It's usually no one's ever working it usually.
Yeah.
And there'll be like some tables and stuff. They'll move them. But you're going to be like the audience is going to be right where your mug is. It's one of those shows where you get sweated on by the singer.
Love it.
It's like for someone like me taking the photos and the videos. It's a whole bunch of this.
Yeah.
Of just working my way through the crowd and stuff.
That's funny.
But yeah, you basically. I've never seen moshing there. I've never seen you post up in a spot and you stay generally.
But it's outdoors.
Well, yes and no.
It's inside with no roof.
Right. Well, there's a wall. There's the door to the place, and there's a gate to the back alley.
Interesting. Okay.
And there's this unique thing where the second you cross the threshold of that gate to the back alley, suddenly you smell a back alley. But for some reason, it stops when you cross into that performance area.
Yeah.
Do you know who's the promoter?
Yeah, I do. It is. It's Scumbag Productions. Are you familiar with them?
I am not.
They book mostly like street punk stuff, is my understanding.
But they're local.
Yes.
I'll have to hope if you see someone there that you know from them. Do you know anybody from them?
Yeah.
Or was that all email?
Yeah, they've kind of been the people that have. Them and their associates and friends have been the people that have consistently brought me back to Vegas.
Okay.
And so,
please
still
introduce
kind of
me.
in the family.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew all the promoters and stuff in town.
Uh-huh.
It's always nice to get that extra little thing. Especially,
Mm.
it sounds like they're not necessarily promoting as much as some of the other ones if they're doing a lot of the street level stuff.
Yeah, probably right.
So,
Yeah.
let me know. Okay, we're narrowing in here. We're almost done.
All right.
So, make sure you stick around. I think we have a music video from you after this interview.
Love it.
Yes. Don't know which one yet. Stick around. We're going to see a music video from him. They're always fun. They're always funny. And also, he's talented, so you'll enjoy. 2 questions.
Yeah.
Number 1. Is Otis Julius your given name? Or stage name?
It's my stage name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's, in that case, then it's hilarious.
Thank you.
So, I assume there's an obvious slight reference to O.J. Simpson.
No, not at all.
Oh, really?
No, not at all. But that actually, I was writing the other day and a OJ line came up, and so I haven't decided where to put it yet, but we've probably got an OJ line coming soon.
Then I gotta ask, why Otis Julius?
If I'm going to be completely honest and tell you the real answer,
Please.
I was making music under Big O.
Mm-hmm.
Big O, I built myself inside a total square that was like heavily punk influenced. Everything was black and white, no color, no fun,
Right.
I wanted to rebrand, and I was looking for something that worked. I knew that a lot of like names were doing really well in like the hip hop scene, so I wanted to go with a name. Didn't want to go with my name. My dad had actually wanted to name me Otis Julius, and yeah, so there was that, and then I could also like say, and this isn't really real, but like I say that like the Big O stood for Otis, and so but yeah, the Julius was supposed to be after Dr. J.
Okay.
Yeah. And
You just dated yourself.
but I dated my dad, maybe.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, so that's what kind of how the name, it just came together. And then another thing that I had, whenever I started Big O, I did not have a business brain in me at all.
No one ever does.
And realizing really fast that like my main competitors online were tire companies and like 1,000 different rappers that have all released like 2 songs and that's it.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
Yeah.
And their whole like marketing department's like, who's this Big O guy?
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
Idaho? What the hell?
Exactly. And so, I did a quick Google search on Otis Julius and found like nothing. And for that reason, like if you search Otis Julius, you will have no competition. You will find me instantly.
It's true. Yeah.
And so
I wish that I had done a little more due diligence researching Room 6 because there's a horror movie I didn't know about.
Okay.
And it always pops up first, and then Room 6 is like a couple down. So I started doing Room 6 LV. Is it on the shirt?
Yeah.
Room 6 LV. But then you got to explain to people. Oh, it's all one word.
Right.
And so I've thought long and hard about rebranding, but at this point, it's kind of baked in. I'm kind of like, I'll just deal with it. And I'm proud to say that I recently looked on like a totally random browser. Wasn't one that I had always been looking at the channel or anything. And the horror movie's still first, but they're like 2, and then there's Room 6 on the YouTube channel. So I was like,
so it's working.
SEO, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for telling that story because so your dad named you basically, but didn't know at the time that was right on.
Yeah, so it's a.
I fought long and hard against using my name as a band name, but the band we were playing my music that I had written and recorded, and so they're like, "Well, just use your name, man." And the second we wrote a song together, I said, "That's it. We need a band name." And that's how The Suspense was born. And I was very proud of that. It's about that pregnant pause before the beat drops.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right before you're about to step on that distortion pedal.
Absolutely.
So, and then 5.5 iterations later, here after the last time a band broke up. Musicians. So here we go. Last question. You made it.
Okay. All right.
Let's pretend we're talking a little Otis.
Okay.
And there's a question I ask of all my prey. And you OG Room 6ers will know. Well, this is really geared towards the new musicians.
Okay.
Now, for you, Little U was Punk Boy. And you can answer this either way. Really, think about what is one thing you wish someone had told you about the music scene before you got into it, before chasing this weird, twisted dream called music. And don't Don't say change your strings.
Right. That's super interesting. I've never been asked this question. I've been asked, like, what's something I would have done different or advice for other people, but like...
that's a whole long...
Yeah. But...
that's when the alcohol comes out.
But, let's see here. Something that... So say that again. So ask your question one more time.
Okay. What is one thing you wish someone had told you about about music and getting in the music business that you wish you had known? What is a piece of advice you would give little you?
I think part of what I would find to be really important would have been to take care of my body, I think. I've done so much of my career has been DIY, and I booked all. This is the first tour I'm working with a booking agent, and in my career through everything that I've done. And what that means is that my first tours, my Canadian tours, everything like that, I've been like 14 hours sitting in bed with my laptop, sending emails and looking up venues and stuff. And it's just like you spend like 2-3 weeks straight in bed just working on trying to put a tour together, and like your body, and then you have to go and be active on stage. And the reality is like the computer work and the time that you spend prioritizing what needs to be done at the time takes away from your body. And now as I've gotten older, finding my fitness to be really important so I can continue to put on an amazing show, because the show is what sells merch, and that is how I make a living. And so prioritizing my health would be a huge thing for me. And like, whenever you're 24 years old and hopping in a van and driving across the country with friends, like it's really nothing. But as you start to get a little bit older, it starts to wear on your body. You're like, oh, I'm sore. Like I can't turn my neck this morning. What am I gonna do?
Why is my gear heavier?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I'm 50 now, and believe me, that's it. No one's ever given. They've been like, hey, don't mess with the drugs, or they've gone down that route. But no one's ever said just take care of your body. Mm-hmm. Maybe visit a gym. Yeah. And that's actually really good advice for anybody, especially if you're planning on touring.
Yeah.
A lot of times you don't know what you're getting into in terms of where's my gear got to go. Now for you, I know that a lot of people think hip hop artists, you just show up with your microphone, and that's it, and that's not the case, right? You're bringing the sound a lot,
right? And like on this tour, what do I have? I'm counting in my head. I think I've got, I don't know if I have 8 or 10 totes of merch.
Like, the merch, you always forget about the merch.
You'd be absolutely amazed how heavy T-shirts are. Like,
no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not you. I'm talking to the viewers.
No, I was amazed. I put on something called Room 6 Rocks showcase, and I'm working on one now for the spring. Hopefully,
have me out for it.
Stay tuned.
Let's make it make sense.
Well, what I'm doing is chronologically going down. I've done over 100 of these interviews now. Mm-hmm. I'm going chronologically down the list. So I'm going old school back to the OGs and saying, hey, doing a thing, this date, you good? And so I got 5 performers.
Love it.
And I built a show, and I brought all the gear because it was outdoors in the summer. I lost 3 pounds that day because I brought all the gear. Yeah. And I literally had just a box of 50 T-shirts, and I was amazed. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah,
cotton is heavy.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. I've seen shows where it's just tote after tote after tote, and you see them lumbering. Yeah. And all that's in there is T-shirts or stickers.
Yeah. all of that is heavy.
Yeah.
But we played. I think the venue is called Milk Boy in Philadelphia, and it's it's like this hipster restaurant on the ground floor. You have to go up 2 flights of stairs to get to the venue section. And then this was when I was touring with a band, so we were lugging the bass amp up there, the drum, everything, the merch. And then as soon as you get all set up, the promoter comes by and is like, hey, I want to show you guys the green room too. The green room's in the basement. So it's 4 floors down. We're just like, no, we don't need a green room tonight.
We're good, buddy.
Tell you.
Where's the bar? Yeah, we're
good. I am not moving till after this show.
Oh, God. Everyone thinks that like the drummer has all the gear, most of the gear. but the bassist always has the heavy crap.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I remember it. What was it? It was an Ampeg, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So more of the rectangle as opposed to the cube. And the stage was this high. No other way to get your gear on stage.
Yeah, that's
and I'm lifting this thing up. I'm like, I'm the singer.
Yeah,
you know? But I had it sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. And if you want to be on the channel, hit me up using the email address down in the description, or click the Room 6 social media link. That's where you'll find all sorts of ways to contact me, all sorts of ways to support the channel. If you really want to support the channel, click that sponsor link down there if it interested you. And stick around. We're going to see a music video from Mr. Julius.
Yes.
And then I'll see you in the outro. And sir?
Thanks for having me. I'm going to plug my stuff. Is that cool?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Yeah. Follow me on all platforms. It's just at Otis Julius Music. Also, you can go to my website and find links to everything. That's just otisjulius.com. Go watch that new music video. I'm really stoked with how it turned out. I'm a super big Lego nerd, and I have a Lego music video now, so I'm excited about it. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. And thank you for watching. Stick around. We'll see a little music video here. I think maybe if it's cool with you, we'll go ahead and have that Lego music video.
Yeah, do that. That's the one I'm trying to run right now.
Giggity.
Love it.
And like I said, see you in the outro, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Bye.
I just wanna make a lot of money, so I ain't gotta cruise around in my stupid blue Hyundai, flip it, trade it in for a Ferrari, and I'll probably take my mom to church on Sunday. Let's go! I just wanna make a lot of money, so I ain't gotta cruise around in my stupid blue Hyundai, flip it, trade it in for a Ferrari, and I'll probably take my mom to church on Sunday. Whoa, look at me, a bunch of maxed out credit cards, so I can be living life so good, boy. Now don't you see? I've been poor my whole life, and now I'm free. Now I'm free. I don't work for no one. I'm self-employed. I'm the big boss. Fingers crossed that I don't destroy everything that I done built up. This is my life. Now I'm working on them digits so that I can get my money right. Money isn't everything, but I still want it when I get it. Best believe, boy, that I'm a flaunt it. And you'll never see my eyes with my shades by Gucci. You'll just see me smile in my new Ferrari. I just wanna make a lot of money, so I ain't gotta cruise around in my stupid blue Hyundai, flip it, trade it in for a Ferrari, and I'll probably take my mom to church on Sunday. Let's go! I just wanna make a lot of money, so I ain't gotta cruise around in my stupid blue Hyundai, flip it, trade it in for a Ferrari, and I'll probably take my mom to church on Sunday.
I dream about the day when I ain't living check to check, when me and wifey pull up at the light and Benz is neck and neck. She got the purple and I got the blue, with custom shoes, paying cash, so ain't nothing due. Well, that's not true. One day, that's why I stay so committed. As I get older in it, best part about this life is I ain't have to sell my soul to get it. My mama brag about me everywhere we go, say your son's a rap star and make sure everybody knows. So stay grounded, I got great intentions, even though sometimes I feel so broke I can't even pay attention. Listen, on the real, I got no complaints, I've lived a great life, but I'm saying a couple more zeros would be nice.
I just wanna make a lot of money, so I ain't gotta cruise around in my stupid blue Hyundai, flip it, trade it in for a Ferrari, and I'll probably take my mom to church on Sunday. Let's go! I just wanna make a lot of money, so I ain't gotta cruise around in my stupid blue Hyundai, flip it, trade it in for a Ferrari, and I'll probably take my mom to church on Sunday.
I want to thank Otis Julius for coming on the channel. It was a great interview and a great music video. Definitely check his social media out down in the description so you can find out where he's playing next. Unfortunately, the Evil Pie Show is... We're talking to you from the past. But If you want to be on the channel, like I said, hit me up using my email address or the Room 6 social media link. And if you want to see more videos like this, click up here. If you want to hear some of my music, which is not like his at all, not nearly as good, click over there. And if you want to subscribe, click up there, ring the bell. You know what to do. I appreciate all of you. In the meantime, remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Say goodbye, Otis.
Thanks for having me. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Pop!